Last episode, I said I would rather make the case against my own argument myself than have it made in the comments. Then I promised to go further and tell you exactly what would prove me wrong. This is that episode. Episode 3 borrowed a rule from Karl Popper, and it is my turn to be held to it. A claim that no evidence could ever contradict is not insight, it is decoration. I have spent 14 episodes applying that test to other people's predictions, so it would be cowardly to exempt my own. Here is the claim, stated so you can shoot at it. Software engineering is a set of 7 invariant problems, not a set of practices. Every generation of tools rewrites the practices, no generation has yet touched the problems, and organizing your skills around the problems is what makes a shift survivable. 3 things would kill that, and they are not equally fatal. I want to be precise about which is which. The first is dissolution, where the 7 problems survive but stop being the software engineer's job. Somebody still decides what is worth building, somebody still arbitrates what the customer actually meant, somebody still holds the theory of the system in their head, and none of those people are called engineers. The work migrates into product, into operations, into management, and the title dies while the discipline carries on under other names. Be clear about what that breaks, because it does not break the claim. The problems are still there and somebody is still solving them. It breaks the advice, which is the part of this series you would actually use. Telling you to build a career around problems that have moved out of your job is worthless. So I count dissolution as a hit rather than a miss, and the thing to watch is title composition, whether the number of people called software engineers falls while the work itself carries on. The second condition is the one that kills the claim outright, and it needs 3 things to become true together. AI closes the intent gap end to end, so that what you asked for and what you needed stop diverging, with no human left arbitrating the difference. It verifies against reality rather than against its own account of reality, so nobody has to go and check. And it holds essential complexity internally, so that no human needs to understand the system in order to change it safely. Norse theory, from last episode, would live in the machine and not in a team. If all 3 hold, the 7 problems do not vanish, they stop being ours. That is a real possibility, and I am not going to pretend it is absurd, because pretending would make this series comfortable and useless at the same time. What I will insist on is that partial versions do not count. We are living in the partial version, 2 out of 3, on a good day, on a small system, with somebody watching. The third condition is not a scenario, it is a number you can watch without taking my word for anything. If human engineering supervision were becoming unnecessary, where would it go first? The frontier labs run the strongest models before anybody else, they have the deepest incentive to prove the point, they have the money to reorganize, and they have no legacy estate to defend. If it can happen anywhere, it happens there first. So I counted, on the day I wrote this, from their own public job boards. Anthropic, OpenAI and xAI have 1,412 open roles between them. 582 of those have engineer in the title. 235 say software engineer plainly. Those are postings rather than people, and a posting is an intention rather than a hire, so I will not claim more than the number can carry. What I will say is that the direction is not subtle. The best resourced, most motivated adopters of this technology are hiring humans to build and supervise what their own models write, in volume, right now. And the same boards carry last episode's bad news, which is part of why I trust them. Out of those 1,400 roles, 3 engineering posts say in their text that new graduates or early career applicants are welcome. 3. Of the 235 software engineering roles, 71 state a minimum experience, and 63 of those want for years or more. On the same day, in the same file, evidence against the fatal scenario and evidence for the broken ladder. Now the unfashionable half, what would not prove me wrong, because a hypothesis you can wriggle out of is worth nothing, and one that surrenders to the wrong evidence is worth just as little. A model building an entire working application does not do it, that is the intent gap crossed on a problem where a human already decided what was wanted. A benchmark score does not do it, benchmarks measure the part we already know how to mark. A round of layoffs does not do it, employment is noisy and it lags, and episode 13 showed it moving in the opposite direction to the work. And my own discomfort does not do it either, which is the one I have to watch hardest. So, the commitment, in words you can hold me to. I will run that count again, on the same 3 boards, and publish it every year whether it flatters me or not. If engineering falls as a share of what those companies hire while what they ship keeps growing, that is my hypothesis losing, and I will say so in those words. Being wrong in public is cheaper than being vague in public. Next episode is the last one, and it answers the question all 15 have been circling. Given the 7, the receipts, the rupture and the kill conditions, where exactly should you stand?